it's me, Jen, your pudgy picker, here with another weight loss update. So we are at week 23. So we're like halfway. We're like 6 months in. So it's July, August, September, October, November, December. Crazy. So it doesn't feel that long. Sometimes it feels like it's been forever, and other times it doesn't feel like it's been that long. So let me put on my reading glasses. And of course, I'm still a little hoarse sounding. I feel much better. I'm still tired. Like in the evenings, I just get like exhausted. So I don't know, this thing really took a lot out of me. I haven't been sick in a while, so I guess it's making up for time. So, of course, the first thing I want to tell you is I'm not a doctor, I'm not a healthcare professional. These videos are just me showing my experience of the medicine that I am taking, my experiences, and everything is my opinion. I'm not affiliated with, I'm not being paid or compensated in any way to do these videos or take the medication. Excuse me, I'm not advocating or encouraging or endorsing anyone to take these medicines. That is up to you and your doctor. So now that all the legalese is ready, let's get on to the numbers, because after all, that's what we're here for. So this week is for week number 23, which covers from dates December 18th through December 24th. This is going to go up on Christmas Day, everybody. So if you have a lot of people over and you see a video pop up, go to the bathroom, hang out for a while, and watch my video. You need a break sometimes. So my starting weight for this week was 225.6 pounds, and my ending weight is 222.4. So I had a total loss of 3.2 pounds. So my overall starting weight from July 1st was 264.4, making my total weight loss 42 pounds. My computer keeps going on and off. That's why I keep seeing it in my sunglasses, or in my reading glasses. So yeah, 42 pounds, man. I was like breathing down the neck of 40, and then I kind of skipped over the line. I am still at a 0.75 dose. This past time that I reordered, I was kind of wanting to move up from 0.5 milliliters, which is what I was taking. So now, when I talked to the doctor, they said, well, you don't really go up to 7.5, you go from 0.5 to 1. So I talked to my doctor and I said, I'm going to order the 1, but I'm just going to stick with 7.5. She's like, that's fine. That's if that's your decision, you go with that. So I've been really good. This dose is just hitting right. I don't have a lot of side effects. I don't have a lot of nausea, but it's doing the job. It's keeping that food noise really tuned down so that it's not an issue. Tater! I knocked that dog out. My husband, he just likes to get her wound up. He's like, what? Then she starts. So, yeah. So, minimal side effects, maximum on the food noise turning down. So, it's getting the job done. I kind of don't want to go up until I have to. It seems like some people are just like, oh, I'm doing this, and then I'm up, and then I'm going up, and then I'm going up. And it's like, if it's doing the job, why put up the dose? Because it's not like, oh, I lost 3 pounds this week, I'm going to lose 6 pounds next week if I, go up and dose. No, it's not healthy, it's not safe. And, you're going to increase your side effects. And nobody wants to feel sick all the time. And I've had times, if you've been watching me from the beginning on this journey, you'll see I've had times where I was literally in bed, down, felt horrible for 2 to 3 days at a time early on. So I'm really glad that those days are behind me. And even taking a smaller dose and having those issues at first, I think that would have stopped a lot of people if they, I was supposed to take 0.25 and I was taking half. I think I was taking 0.15. So point is, if you're really sick on this, maybe you're a little high at a dose. My opinion, of course. So how did I eat this week? Good food choices. I'm still kind of hovering around that 1,600 calories. When I talked to my nutritionist last, she said, she's like, if you get a little bit on if you're doing everything you should and you go a week or two without losing, then, we should consider backing your calories back. She's like, but you're doing fine. You're losing, you're going to stay at 1,600. So that's where I'm currently at. Side effects, as I was saying, are pretty low. We're not really having any nausea. In the morning, if I get up and I'm moving around a lot and I haven't eaten yet, I can get a little bit of that nausea going. So that's kind of a thing. I'm always tired like a day and a half after my shot. My shot day is Monday. So today is Tuesday. So maybe that's another reason my butt's dragging a little bit. Exercise, I've still been recovering, so I haven't really done that much. I did spend 3 hours cleaning my house on Sunday. I know you guys are like, no, you need to do strength training. I get it. I wasn't feeling well. It was still not, even now I'm just kind of pooped out. So I'm kind of trying to give myself a little leeway on that and not being too hard on myself. Excuse me. So that's where I'm at. My mood has been very good, other than, getting over being sick. Food noise has been completely down to almost zero. Some days it's a struggle to hit the 1,600 calories. And I'm really trying to kind of hit that number. Like toward the end of the day, I'll have maybe some crackers or something if I don't feel like eating. But I don't want to keep, when you're not on this medicine, it makes sense to hunger cues and okay, I'm hungry, I'll eat, and I'm not hungry, I won't eat. But when you start messing with your chemistry of your body, those physical cues or those cues aren't what they should be. Like if I only ate when I was hungry, I probably wouldn't eat maybe up to 500 calories a day, and there's no way that that's healthy. It's not safe. It would be setting my metabolism up for failure. So, there's all that to consider. As long as I get over 1450, if I am up to 1450 and I don't feel like eating and it's the evening, I'll just go, yeah, I'm just not going to worry about it. But 1,600, I think yesterday hit 1,740, and that's high for me. Upcoming, I don't really have any. Yeah, I have an upcoming appointment. I don't think it's before my next update. I think it's January, actually. Yeah. And then the shot doctor, I don't think I speak to her until January. So getting rid of the 2024 soon. I've been carrying around my 2024 and my 2025 new one. So as appointments and things come up, I've been kind of pre-filling them into the new one. So another week and I'll be able to dump this. In fact, I think my next week, let me see if I have this right. It matters to no one but me. Yeah, next week is from the 25th to the 31st. So that'll be my last weigh-in for 2024. So that's it for all that. I don't know. I did want to read something to you now. If you just are here for the numbers and you're like, okay, just tell me how you did and which side effects and I'm done. I get it. But I know I've been talking a lot about this stop self-sabotaging. And I put a couple little notes in here because I found something. And it's something I think we all commonly deal with. That when you're doing really well, you're like, man, I got this and I'm going to go all the way and I'm eating right. And, you get that motivation kind of, when you're doing well. Issue is when you're not doing so well and you really need to knuckle down and have that kind of let's go, let's pull this out of the ditch, let's make it happen. That's a little harder to do because you get more discouraged and then I got to do this and I got to that. And it's it's hard. It's hard. This journey has difficulties. And this was something that I thought I would want to read to you. So this is on page 182 of this book. And it says, all of those times when everything seems to be going wrong, when the good to bad ratio is more like 20-80, It's even harder to show compassion and kindness to yourself. The blunt truth is that if you treated others the way you treat yourself, you wouldn't have any friends. And that's true. So there's a lot of the things you say to yourself and how hard you are on yourself about your weight or anything else, your abilities to do anything. It's easy to beat up on yourself. And if anybody else said that to you, like if you were like, oh, I'm having a bad day, and your friend goes, well, you really suck and you're probably not ever going to get to your goal weight, and I don't even know why you bother trying. You'd be like, what the heck am I friends with this person? So again, and this is something I've mentioned before, but I'll mention it again, is when I have those thoughts, the first thing I started to do is, you're in your own brain, you're doing something, and then that thought goes, yeah, you're never going to get to where you're going. I will stop and say out loud, no, we're not going to think that way. It's like a pattern interrupt. It's like when you're speeding down the street and you don't slow down for that speed hump and you go, ugh. That's a pattern interrupt. It's like you're going along and you need something to just completely, turn that direction. That's a pattern interrupt that I call it. So that's something you might want to do. And it's funny because there's been times I've been in the other room and I'll say, no, we're not going to do that. My husband will go, what? Who are you talking to? I'm talking to myself. So I thought that was a really good point in that paragraph. It says, fortunately for our friendships, we usually know how to be supportive to the people we care about. The challenge is learning to do the same for ourselves. Amen. It's easy to cheer when things are going well. The challenge of self-nurturing is to love and forgive yourself when things are not going well. In business and personal life, one of the best rules for managing yourself and others is paradoxical. Love yourself when you're not down and challenge yourself to grow when you're up. So you're kind of flipping the script on that. When you're like, oh, I'm doing great, I'm doing everything I should. Is there something a little more you could do? Could you add a little more, a few minutes of that workout? Could you make sure that you maybe write down what you ate for dinner rather than just guessing? Because when you're doing great, you're like, nope, I got it. It's all great. But when you're not doing well, that's when you have to show that kindness to yourself and say, I understand how you're feeling, but you really need to challenge these thoughts that pop up. You're not worthless. You're not gonna, I'm never gonna reach my goal. That's not true. That's not true. And the more you tell yourself that, they always say, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So that thinking really does lead to actions. So that's something in my experience with this book and this point in my weight loss that I'm challenging my thoughts. And it's hard to think of lying to yourself. And that's what self-sabotage is. You're basically lying to yourself. If I eat that, it's not going to hurt. And you've been so good, maybe you should. And, those things that you say to yourself, it's very easy to be dishonest with ourselves and to call ourselves on it, but also be kind. And it is paradoxical. It is a balance of, how you speak to yourself and what you allow yourself to get away with, and when you have to call yourself out. And, that's hard to do. The next paragraph says, maybe I have a little after this. This is the opposite of what you usually do to yourself. When success seems out of reach and things aren't going well, it's tempting to tell yourself you're a failure. Not only is it the approach unkind, it doesn't work. It simply spirals you further down into the cycle of self-recrimination. When the going gets rough, it is especially important to nurture yourself. So even if you're telling yourself, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, it's like when you're trying to help them and you say, oh, maybe that's probably not a good idea, or hey, do you want to go for a walk instead? Or, those encouraging things you would say to someone instead of seeing someone pick up a cupcake and you're like, put that down, fatty. You don't need that. You're being weak. And, if somebody said that to you, the delivery counts for a lot. And there's things you can say in a million different ways to yourself and to others. And you need to think, is it really productive? Is that okay? Would I say that to someone else? Would I go up to my friend and say that to them? No, of course you wouldn't. So, gotta think of ourselves. And then the last area that I thought this was really important. It says at certain stages in our lives, though, we need to assess who in our system is helping us to move forward and who is holding us back. Old friends from college can go in different directions from us and develop different values over years. They may still care, but our life paths are different now. We've simply grown apart. No one is wrong. We're just no longer right for each other. And I mean, it's not really encouraging you to like cut people off, but when you have friends and over years, especially, it's not even beliefs or things like that that can be different. It's, if you're older and you waited to have kids, the people who have kids your age are younger. Or if you had kids early, people your age might not have kids. So these different things take us in different directions, give us different experiences, and really do shape us being a different person. So, understanding that, it's not right or wrong, but it's the people in our lives really do kind of hold sway. And that, again, that's not saying just completely write people off, because there are people you love in your life and people who may not understand, they may be on board what you're doing, but they don't understand. And I've made an extra effort when I talk to my husband to say, if he has an old thought pattern that I used to have, I say I'll be real nice about it, but he'll say, I was thinking about, ordering some dessert or something, boy, we've really both had a tough week, and, we deserve a break, and, let's get a dessert, and we'll sit and watch a movie, and and we'll reward ourselves for all that we did this week. And I say, I understand that, and if you want to do that, you do whatever you want to do, but I no longer reward myself with food. And I appreciate you saying that, and that's so nice that you want to treat me to something, but let's just watch the movie. Maybe I'll go pop some popcorn, or, maybe, we can just sit and put a puzzle together, or maybe, do whatever. So it's not like, somebody's going to say, oh, wow, you've been so good this week, and you say, oh, well, I can't eat that, and why would you even suggest that? Do you even want me to lose weight? You're sabotaging me. And I mean, again, there's more than two different approaches to this. So, and I think when it's someone that that they should probably lose a few pounds, or that they should be more kind of on board, when I say that, it kind of gets other people thinking. Because when I've worked at the store the last couple times, people bring, and I know anywhere you work, people bring in so much food. And especially this time of year, there's always food, cookies, candy, anything in the office. And one of the older vendors was walking around. He had a plate that had like chocolate kisses and the little candy bars and stuff. And before the store opened, he was walking around. Here's a little sugar to get you going. I mean, he was being so sweet. And he came up, and it was funny. He was going up to the other vendors, and he's like, I got a kiss for you. You want a kiss? And laugh, So he came over to me, and he's like, I got a piece of candy. You want a piece of candy? And I'm like, I said, no, thank you. I'm really watching what I'm eating. But thank you for asking. I mean, I always try to be real nice about it. And you may have people in your life that you may have to be a little more direct, like, Aunt Susan comes over with the bowl and is like, here, there, have some more mashed potatoes. You may have to be a little more firm with those people. But again, be kind, be nice, but be firm. You know where you're going. You know where your goal is. And if you have those blinders of, this is what I'm doing, this is the journey I'm on, and I'm really putting forth big effort, and then somebody comes in your view and is like, here, have this, it might be easy, especially someone you've told no 20 times to go, don't you get it? I'm not eating crap. But of course, there's many different ways to do things. And if you want people to be more supportive and on board with what you're doing, being mean about it, is not going to help. It's like, gosh, when you were fatter, you used to be so much nicer. So again, especially the people who love us and we live with and all those things, it's a lot. It's a lot that we need to try to be kind about it. So, and I've had over the last year or so, I've told my husband, don't buy me anything to eat without asking me. And for a while he didn't. He was just like, oh, I saw it, I thought of you, and here it is, and isn't that nice? And I wouldn't eat it. And then he would say, are you gonna? I'm like, no, I'm not eating that if you want it. If it's in there more than a few days, I will literally throw stuff away. If my kids, in fact, my son and his wife, and it was me and my hubby and my daughter and her new boyfriend, was her birthday on the 21st, so we had to get together here at the house. We were going to take her out. That's a whole nother story. We ended up gifting her something instead of taking her out to a big dinner, because she's going back to school for her bachelor's, I think. So, yeah, there was a whole thing there. We worked that out. But she's like, it's like, well, why don't you just come over and we'll cook something, or we can order something. So she's like, oh, there's a pizza place that's by our house that she doesn't have out on the other side of Cleveland. So she was like, oh, I would love Rascal House Pizza. Could you do that? So we did. And I ended up buying something at Aldi. I got the frozen packages of the mussels. So you just cut them out of the bag, put them in a container frozen, and throw them in the microwave. And I did 2 bags of those, and that was my dinner last night. And it's funny because none of my family even says anything there anymore. They're like, oh, what you having? Oh, that looks good. And everybody, nobody even thinks about it anymore. So I did that. So I didn't have pizza, and I didn't have cheesy breadsticks, and I didn't have any of that. I didn't have wings. Now, once in a while I'll get a taste for wing. I'll have 1 or 2, but it's different than it used to be. So again, that was the vibe last night. It was like pizza, and it smelled good, but I looked at the pizza and I wasn't like, oh, that looks really good. I didn't. And if I would have cut, a piece in half, and then I would have had a few bites. Because then usually when you're like, oh, I have a taste for that, and then you have a bite or two, you're like, yeah, that wasn't really it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So a lot of times it's just that first couple bites that you're like, that's good. And then after that, you're like, I could take it or leave it. So yeah, so that's been really helpful. I'm really, I'm 56. The only boundaries we talked about when I was a teenager was a fence. That's the boundary. Boundaries are different now. Boundaries you set with everybody in your life, with your spouse, with your children, with, your friends, with strangers, with people you work with extended family. I mean, there's certain things you'll do and you'll say, no, I'm not comfortable with that. And it could be something big. It could be something little, like food. So keeping that in mind, I think a lot of people, now that I've been doing this 6 months, are like, I offer, okay, you don't, fine, it's good. I don't even worry about it. So yeah, so I ended up not eating anything. We had a birthday cake for her. She cut it up. Everybody had a piece but me. I said, somebody's like, oh, it's Kaylin's birthday. Why don't you have a piece? I said, I'll have a piece of cake on my birthday. And everybody's like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Because if I had a piece of cake for everybody's birthday, I would have cake every other week. And we're not doing that. So yeah. So what I did is my husband was like, oh, I might want a piece later. So I finished, everybody had their piece. And while we were sitting there yapping, I took some saran wrap, the plastic cling wrap, and I put each piece, wrapped it up, and I gave a couple to the kids. And they're like, well, and I said, put it in your freezer. So I put 2 pieces in my freezer. So if my husband has a taste for it, just, take it out and eat it, or thaw it out or whatever. And, And it was funny because my son and his wife are going out to Vegas Thursday, day after Christmas. Or is it Christmas? No, it's not Christmas morning. Yeah, I don't know when they're in the next couple days. So he was like, Mom, I don't really want leftovers because we're not going to eat them. So my daughter took the leftovers, and then I've told him before, I'm like, you're doing me a favor by taking this. Just take it. Before you get in your house, go to your garbage can outside and throw them in there, because I don't want it here. And you're doing me a favor. If you're not eating it, don't think, oh, I don't want to go home and throw it away. That's such a waste. I'd rather it be that kind of waste than on my waste. So yeah, I have actually done that. I've been like, here's this. I don't know. Please take it home. Throw it away. I don't care if you stop on the side of the road and toss it out. I don't care. I just don't want it in this house. You know, it's one thing to be stern about what you don't want to eat, but to have it right in front of you, that doesn't help you. It's like you stop smoking, and instead of getting rid of all your cigarettes, you have this one right in front of you, and you're like, I'm truly trying not to smoke these. I'm not going to smoke these. I'm not going to smoke these. It's like, why would you do that to yourself, you know? So I hope you enjoyed my rambling. As I do start to read more and see more information and see more quotes, I will let you know. I really like the information in this book, and especially those 2 or 3 paragraphs I read you. I did start to read Stop Doing That My grandmother, my mom's mom, Southern Belle, never swore a day in her life. But if we were there and she'd get mad, she'd go, chip. It's the funniest thing in her family, because you go, chip. And she was saying S-H-I-T, but she was saying it so fast. But none of the grandkids, nobody knew what it was. So that's when I see this, I think, chip. That's a whole other story. But yeah, so end self-sabotage and demand your life back. So I'm literally just started this the other day. So I don't know. It doesn't have a hold of me yet. I'm not like, oh, I want to read. So we'll see if this gets better. I don't know. But boy, this book has really helped. And in fact, I've told myself, I don't usually read books over a second time, fiction or self-help or any of that. But this one, I thought, I'm going to hang on to this one, because I'm out of the what should I eat phase and, oh, give me good, low-cal recipes, or how much fat should I have. I'm way, way, way past that. Now I'm like getting into the mechanism of why. Why do you want to eat? Why do you want to eat now? And I think that's really been the focus. I know what to eat. I know how much. I know what exercise I should do and how much. But this is the last part of it. And this has made such a big difference. It has made an experience where you're just hanging on and gritting your teeth to, this is easier. I can do this. And that's great, because people say, oh, it's so hard to lose weight. It is. It is, because you got to get your mind right. And that's what I'm really concentrating on right now. So again, if you made it this long, I appreciate you. I've been telling you to leave stuff in the comments down below. Let me think. What could you put? Put something celebratory in the emojis down in the base. They have the little, it's not people like high-fiving, that's praying. But if you want to do that, or they have the little confetti thing, anything to show me that, is your way of saying, good for you, you've gotten 42 pounds off and have kept it off, which is a bigger feat. Then leave that down below. Or again, if you have any questions about what I'm doing, what I'm eating, any situations, anything like that, please leave the comments down below. Let me know if you have any questions. I will tackle them next time. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time, next week. But I do have another video coming up before then. So if you're just tuning in for the weight loss, stick around and find some of my hauls and things that I buy to resell. Might be interesting. So I will see you guys next time. And until then, I don't know. Keep doing the right thing. Take care of yourself. You deserve it. Bye.